Hey everyone, what you're about to watch here is the final match in a small tournament, 8-person tournament on a Discord server called Personal Workshop. Came across it. It's just a small group of folks just playing, casual tournaments, working through the reboot format, which is Abram Jop's adjustments to the original cards from FFG. And we're just working through that kind of systematically right now. I think they might have some future plans for, doing some different tournaments in the future. But for now, we're just playing. We just finished the core set for the reboot format. And so if you're interested in checking it out, we're about to start Core Plus 3 next week. And we're just going to be working through those adjusted cards systematically. So if you're interested, come check it out. Otherwise, enjoy the content and keep on playing Netrunner. Y'all take care. All right, here we go. This is the championship match for a small tournament of 8 players. Original core with the reboot format over there on Reteki.fun. And so 8 of us got together and did a little tournament here. 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks long, so 6 games total. We had Willie BN1 was first place with 15 wins, followed by Voltaire with 12 wins, and myself, I had 12 wins as well, and he ended up getting the tiebreaker with strength of schedule. We've got just a 1-game face-off here with Voltaire running Wayland Consortium and Willie BN1 running the Gabriel Santiago. So now there's a few things that have changed a little bit in this format from the original core. Just a couple of number modifications, but they do kind of balance things out a little bit. You've got a bit more balance in the original core. You're really dealing with a very strong runner, especially the criminal, and followed by anarchs. And so we've really got 2 of the best decks here. On the corpse side, you've got HB and Wayland are really your only contenders, and on the runner side, you've got criminal and anarch, kind of in those order. However, with HB, you're dealing with much more build up your ice, and if things don't go right, you kind of, and the runner gets rich, you're kind of stuck. If you're dealing with the criminal, if you got Wayland, you're basically looking for your kill option to come out or push agendas really fast. And if neither one of those happen, you're kind of messed up too. So we see Voltaire starting out with a money and ice situation, leaving R&D open. Obviously, they're running Sea Source and Scorched, which means if they have that in hand, which we can't tell, you're dealing with Willie Beyond taking a chance to run. And if so, he doesn't have enough money, so Voltaire could see for potential, a certain amount of money, and they would still have 14 minus 8. They'd have about 6 money left over to be able to scorch twice if they want to, because it takes 3 to scorch. And so now we've got Willie Bean already starting out really well with Armitage Code busting, because he's going to be able to keep that money up and run. As long as he stays even or more with Voltaire, there's really little Voltaire can do unless he's running a closed account. Then he could potentially source him for even amount of money and basically break him the following turn, but he'd be broke. That same turn, but he'd be broke as well. So it's not going to do much. So one of the things, it looks like actually Voltaire might be going for an actual scoring server here. We've got an inside job into HQ, and he scoops a priority requisition. Willie does. So that was surprising out of nowhere with a server being deployed. Let's see what Willie does. Does he get his money up to, what's that, probably 13 or 15? Or does he just keep on, he's going to keep on pushing with another run here. So let's see. Oh, he's gaining money every time he runs from the Desperado. So he's up to 10. And then he armored his coach busted up to 14, as I was saying, keeping that money even. So Willie's already in a great position. Willie chose which side to play, and Willie chose runner, which is a smart move because even in the reboot format, you're still dealing with the runner being a little bit stronger. And they also play tested the reboot format with the core set and the first cycle, so they never actually play tested it for just the core set. Let's see here. So we just got a double advancement on the scoring server with Voltaire, and it's going to be interesting here to see what happens. Oh yeah. So that's a good point. I know what Willie Ben's referring to here. He's referring to the possibility this could be a posted bounty, right? If Willie doesn't get in there, and Voltaire is able to advance that one more time, that means he's going to have 2 clicks. If he scores it and forfeits it to put a tag on the runner, he's going to have 2 clicks to go ahead and scorch him. However, Willie Bean's probably looking for a crash space here. I don't know if Willie Bean's running a crash space or not, but crash space is definitely the way to go. If you can keep a crash space and 5 cards in hand, the corp has no way to scorch you. They'd need to scorch you, or they'd need to trash score and then scorch. So you're dealing with a really the way to defeat a Wayland deck is to keep 5 cards in hand, and ooh, this could be interesting. Oh wow. Oh wait, is that a ice ball there? Let's see here. Yes it is. So he'll be able to break that, thank goodness, or that would have been a wrap because he would have got chummed. Man, he took a real chance there running through that. If he would have been a sentry, that would have been game right there. Very interesting. And exactly what I was talking about, a posted bounty here. And here's a great example. In the reboot format, posted bounties were 2 agenda points instead of 1, which is really nice because it gives it much more flexibility. I think it's a reasonable change to kind of strengthen the corp side. Just a hint, another thing they've done is they've taken account siphon down to it costs 2 now, so you would only really net $4. The real benefit of it is kind of breaking the corp there. So yeah, we've got ourselves a quick one happening so far. 5 agenda points already with Willie Ben. He is down to 5 credits though, and Voltaire's sitting on 10, and he's only got 2 cards in hand. So he's almost, if it was me, I'd probably go ahead and draw up to 7. However, I would probably get up to 7 money. However, that still wouldn't be enough if he decided to see scorch him, because he's only got 2 cards, and he only in scorched earth, 4 damage. Very interesting scenario we have here. This is a yep. Oh, see, Willie knows about it too. He's saying C plus scorched. He doesn't even really necessarily need. Oh yeah, he does need to C scorch. Absolutely. He's going to go for the win right here. He understands that he's in a dangerous spot. He gets a buck from Desperado, which and then he sees if he can't get that last agenda. He can't. Let's see if old Voltaire has the Sea Scorch combo, because if he does, that's pretty much a wrap here. The Sea Source Scorched. You don't have Scorched. I'm wondering if Voltaire's even running Sea Source here. He might not be running it, which would be amazing because he won a lot of games with Wayland without the key combo, which would be quite impressive. Quite impressive. Oh, he's drawn. Maybe he does have it, and he just wanted to remember what it was. He's drawn, possibly looking for it. That's a tough situation to be in with all those cards. Man, this is just. Wayland versus Criminal, especially in the reboot format, is just a great matchup. It's a little bit, it's really a lot more lopsided with Criminal against Wayland in the core, in the original core, talking Jinteki side of the house. So yeah, Willie's drawing back up. he's pretty much got the ability to be kind of patient right now. He just needs to make sure that not another posted bounty can get down there, right? And he is not taking any chances in using his inside jobs for headquarters. He's got a scorched earth, so he had the scorched earth part of the equation. He just doesn't have the sea source, and that's oftentimes the problem with the core set. You're dealing with trying to get all the pieces of your combo, as well as money, as well as ice to kind of protect things a little bit. And you're hoping that the runner does not get rich, and you're also hoping that the runner doesn't get that crash space, because if he gets that crash space down and he keeps his hand up to 5, there's not a lot you can do. So let's see if he's going for another posted bounty here. What was that? Oh no, he went for a hostile takeover. That'll be really good if he's got an archer there on server 1, because then he could pretty much feel pretty confident about taxing the runner if he does get a sentry out there, but also being able to use the archer to stop him completely, to get that posted bounty out there, and then scorch. So at this point, once again, a crash base would be really good for Willie. But, you know, he can do it without it as well. If he keeps his hand size up to 5, he prepares himself to be able to run that server 1 if he goes posted bounty. There's not a lot Voltaire can do with a C scorched right now, because Willie really doesn't have to run. He doesn't have to run much, because he's already up 5-1. He's just looking for that key run. Oh, here we go. Does he have a... Oh man, double advance. Oh yeah, okay, so this is good. I love it. I love Wayland kill. And right now we've got a double advanced agenda here. That really makes me feel like that's an archer on the top of that, because that only costs you 4 in that agenda right there, which means he would still have 7 money. And if he didn't get it done, that's still going to be 2 money back, so it really only cost him 2. Okay, he's got full blown. He's going in for headquarters now instead of worrying about that. He's going to see if he can't get it done the easy way first. And he also gains a buck with Desperado. Oh, 3 bucks, excuse me, because of Gabriel and Desperado. It's just an amazing monetary combo. Again, in Reteki.net, we're dealing with this no longer gives you memory, so you've got to be good with running a 4 memory rig program suite, unless you're going to add in some the Amakatu chips or whatever they are. I can't remember the name of them, but they're a shaper. They cost you 1 influence a piece, so there is the cost to running those. So you really want to try and get it done with a 4 memory suite. Probably, if I would like to run a FEM to have for toll booths and not archers, but data ravens, just in case. However, you could run a data sucker here to give yourself some better monetary value, because notice he's probably running the FEM because he doesn't have any breakers that are fixed breakers that require the data sucker to get stuff down to size. However, and the ninja's gotten a lot better in this format. You're dealing with, it was just a priority wreck. Let's see what he reses here. I have a feeling he's going to res that top. Oh, he gets to res 2. In this format, you res 2 of them. 2 ice instead of just 1. So he got a shadow, SOK, and an archer, and so now he's up to 4 agenda points with a strong ice here. However, it's not necessarily that good, because let's see how much this costs. Again, it cost him 2 to get it up to 5 strength instead of 3 like in the original core. So now we're dealing with, it's going to cost him 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if he fully broke it. This is where a data sucker would come in, because if he could drop it down to 5, then he'd only pay 6 to get through that. And he don't even have to worry about this one. He can just let that one fire, because he's easily going to break the ice wall. So that one's kind of useless here. So that server's really not that safe. As long as, but Voltaire still got that option to throw down some traps, right? He could always throw down a trap in that server and make him run through it, spend all his money, and then catch him with a ghost branch or a June bug. We just ran R&D. Willie being dead. Now he's going archives. I guess just he's going to get a buck for it regardless, right? And checking that, make sure he isn't playing any shenanigans there and throwing some agendas in the archives. So we're sitting on, this one's going to run him basically 3 to get through, 4 actually, 4. This one cost him 1, and plus he gets a $3 return the first time he runs through it. So obviously headquarters is the place to be. He's up to 14 money, which means he can easily get through this server right here, no problem. So Voltaire's still in a tough situation. His best bet, I won't say his best bet, but one option, like I said, was to throw down a trap in this server. And Voltaire's also hurting monetarily as well, as you can see. He's almost got to get himself he got Scorched Earth again from headquarters. He's either got a lot of Scorched Earth or Willie keeps on hitting the same Scorched Earths over and over again. He needs some way to fire those Scorched Earth, and that's the challenge with Wayland. But they're both, I'd say that at this point, if I was looking at this board state, I'd say Willie's really got a better chance to pull this one out right now. But Voltaire's still got a chance. The runner still got that challenge of being like, what is this card, right? This could be a snare. But I feel like it's probably going to be a Melange Mining Corp. This is where 3 infiltration, I highly recommend you running 3 infiltration in both regular core as well as reboot core. You're going to be able to pop that infiltration and expose this card and see if it's worth your run. They're really nice to have. In worst case scenario, you can get 2 out of them, but I almost always save them for the expose. It basically makes a situation like this real easy. And look at that, he just ran an infiltration. That makes life a lot easier for his decisions. And just like I said, it's a Melange Mining Corp, right? And now does he spend probably, what is that? That's probably about 10, 11 bucks to get through and trash that Melange Mining Corp, which is now cost 2 to trash. Or so you're looking at probably a 11 to 14 credit. I didn't do the math exactly, but you also get 1 back. It's not terrible. And he's also got a bad pub. So, okay. Now that feels like, that's I was wondering if he's going to leave that out there, but we're at a hostile. So we're tied up 5-5 here. That's really good. It's a really good game. Voltaire has definitely made the best out of this situation at this point. He's back up to 15 credits. Now Willie Ben's got to be careful, because he didn't have to be careful this turn necessarily, but he wants to keep his money up because that's a tough choice for Voltaire. Does he get the 7 money next time, or does he keep building up these servers? Because right now you're dealing with core Wayland. You got a lot of agendas in there because you're running, well, not anymore, because you've got the 2-pointers here with posted bounty. In regular core, you're dealing with at least 5 1-pointers and 3 2-pointers and 3 priority rec. 3 private security, 3 priority rec, and then a combination of 5 1-pointers in original core. Now that you can throw in 3 posted bounties, you probably run 2 and 2 maybe. You get rid of an agenda and open up another card slot. Wow, data dealer. I haven't seen that one. I would be really surprised if he trashed that to game, but I guess it's a good way to keep yourself in a position in case he gets more money than you to quickly be able to get up to money and prevent the kill. So I guess that's another way to deal with C-Source, not necessarily deal with posted bounty to Scorched. All right, he continues to pay the 3 to break Hunter, because I think in the grand scheme of things, spending 3 money on a trace or to break the tag instead of taking a tag and spending a click and 2 credits, I think you come out better, because I believe a click in general is better than a credit, because imagine using it for a card that offers you 4 money, like a Sure Gamble, right? So that's the kind of the way I look at it. So I'd rather spend the 3 money than spend a click and 2 credits to remove a tag after the fact. So anytime those are the odds, and even sometimes, I mean, depending on how the tempo and where you need to be at in the game, it might be worth spending 4. But if you get a crash space and it costs you, it pays, the crash space gives you 2 reoccurring credits to get rid of tags, then sometimes you can mess around and use a click and no credits to get rid of tags, and then you have to make challenging situations based upon tempo to monetary value for you at that point in the game. So we've got 20 to 14, which means Willie's got to once again be a little bit more careful with his runs at this point. Let's see here. Does Voltaire? Nope, he's already played. What did he do? He drew a card. He installed on R&D. He's protecting R&D pretty hard, and he got that server up. Who knows what that is, which means Willie Ben's really got to have some money here. He's really got to have some money more than likely to get here. 14's probably just going to get him in. And here we go. We got a count siphon. Like I said, it cost you 2 instead of 0, which means after you get rid of your tags, you're really only making 4 money versus 6 in the original core. But you do have to add in Gabe and Desperado, which means he's gaining 7 money and he's getting rid of 5 off of Voltaire. So he just flipped the script on the money situation. He's sitting real good monetarily, which means now you're dealing with Voltaire's just trying to hope that he don't go into headquarters and probably find that agenda that he's sitting on right now. I know the feeling. A lot of times I'm holding 2-3 agendas in hand with Wayland, especially in original core on Jinteki, because again, there's a lot of agendas in your deck because of the 1-pointers with posted bounty and hostile takeover. And that is the downfall. If you didn't have all those agendas constantly popping up, you'd probably be getting those cards you really want, like ice, money, and your kill combo. So with Wayland's ability here, these beanstalks turn into a $4 game, and Sure Gambles turn into a $5 game, which is pretty good. I mean, it's not as good as ETF, but you're also not putting in a nasty kill combo. Oh man, now it's gotten even worse. This is another great way to deal with these Wayland decks, right? If he can prevent 1 tag, that's pretty much all he needs at this point, because if he throws a posted bounty, posted bounty is going to win him the game at this point. But a C source, he's no longer worried about a C source, right? As long as he keeps up 5 cards, there's no way that he could C scorched him, because that would take 3 clicks. And now he could see C source scorched him, but he still have 1 card left. So making sure that you defend against that is, that's where I would be going to as well. Willie's going into headquarters to start just sniffing around, because it's the cheapest. It's basically costing him, he's basically gaining $3 the first time, and he's gaining $1 every other time, because he's got bad publicity to take care of the 1 cost to get through Ice Wall with Corridor every turn. So he's ultimately can just make infinite runs on headquarters and keep getting rich. He can make up to 6 money a turn and check, obviously randomly, but check 4 times, which is just a really nice thing. You're gaining $6 and you're looking at possibly any number of cards, which means Voltaire really doesn't have much time. He doesn't have any place to hide really with his current situation, but he did get money. He's got plenty of money to res these ice, depending on what they are. He really needs another one, like a toll booth or something on headquarters, to really start taxing Willie Ben. I don't know if he's got Voltaire's got enough on that server. I know he doesn't, to handle 38 money. So he's basically stuck. The remote he's got to install at some point. There's no fast advance in Wayland, so they're just going to keep on bogging Voltaire down. There's really, it almost feels like a no-win situation unless Voltaire can get him to run a trap on server 1, spend a bunch of money, take some tags and maybe a snare, which he's not going to run on snare. take a couple of damage to June bug, something like that, or a ghost branch would be really nice on, say, like a last click, a ghost branch. But I wouldn't be surprised if Willie's sitting there holding a infiltration on his side of the house, just holding it back, ready to roll, maybe an inside job. That'd be a really nice combo to be able to pop an infiltration, find out it's an agenda, then run an inside job, which will save you even more money on the run there. So from my perspective, and I've done this many a times, it's really almost, as long as Willie's got an infiltration in hand, there's really no way out for Voltaire right now. He's just buying his time, just about going through the motions at this point. But he might surprise me. Maybe he knows something. Here's the reason why he made second and I made third. Maybe he knows something I don't know. But I'm telling you like this, it gets really tough late game for Wayland, especially when you're sitting on 45 creds for the criminal. I mean, this is pretty much a wrap here. I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't see any way of Voltaire getting through this. I think he's pretty much at a place where he's just letting Willie get the win instead of conceding, because and giving him the satisfaction of winning this game, because at this point it's just really out of reach for Voltaire to expect to stop him anywhere. And he's obviously got to install something to even get through. What is this? Lumeria. He's running a very interesting deck, Willie is, because I wasn't running any of these cards, and I can do just fine as well. What do you do? Let's see here. Nope. Double Archer. How does he know that? Oh, expose one card. So now he's got an expose effect here with Lumeria Codecracker. Expose one card, uses ability only if you made a run on headquarters, so he gets to see everything. But again, double Archer's not going to stop this. He's looking at 8 to break each one at this point, so that's 4 plus 4 is 8, so 8, 16. He doesn't even have to break the chum, and then 1 for that. That's 17 money to get through here. He's still got a plethora of dollars, and here's the situation here. With Lumeria, he can check anytime he wants. He can expose a card in this server to find out what Voltaire's putting down. So there's like almost absolutely no way for Voltaire to do anything to trick here. I don't know what this could be here that would actually help. And then we're looking at Shadow. It's costing him basically 4 to get through this with Ninja. 4 money for that one, and then 1 money for that. And he's got 2 bad publicity, which means he's dealing with 3 money to get through headquarters, and he immediately gets that back. So he just used the infiltration to identify a pad campaign. I would have probably just ran headquarters and used the Lumeria, honestly, even though I guess he's always got that in his wheelhouse. But what if headquarters got a little bit more expensive? That's my thought process with it, but I don't think there's any wrong move for Willie at this point. Yeah, I love some infiltration, especially in original core. I run 3 of them anytime, because whenever you're getting into aggressive secretaries, June bugs, and ghost branches, they can be right what the corp needs for a rough boat. I don't think infiltration's any more powerful. Honestly, I think we're dealing with Willie. I think you're dealing with a like I said, I found the runner in corp to be much more balanced in the Riteki setup here, the reboot format. However, you've definitely handled your business this game, Willie, and built a strong rig and got your money up, took your time. You got, really what sets you up is to get that early priority requisition. That gave you a little bit of cushion, and you didn't do like me and push your luck and really try and put the game away, but you took your time and were patient and build up after you got that little bit of a lead, and really played the Game Smart. Now this is my card right here. I'm telling you, Crash Space. You want to, and it's one cheaper in the reboot format. I don't mind paying $2 for it. Again, it gets rid of tags and it prevents up to 3 meat damage. So that's why if you're running one of these and 5 cards, there's no way for the corp to beat you unless they triple scorched or they have the ability to trash Crash Base and double scorched. So it's really the killer for Wayland. And some people would say it's even, as long as you don't get posted bountied, it's really even not even, you don't even need it to get it done. I mean, Willie's got every piece of protection he needs to make sure that there's no way that the Wayland kill combo is going to take place in at this point. Along with, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I've never seen. I don't know if it's how good Willie is or it was just how the cards came out this time, but I have never seen such a dominant like setup, if you will, for stopping the any corp whatsoever. Crash Space, decoy, massive amounts of money, and to put the icing on the cake, Lemuria Code Cracker. He's not trusting in Data Sucker to get through any ice, so he's not worried about getting locked out of the servers. He's got he made sure he's got the money. He's got an icebreaker suite that can get through anything besides traps, which in the core set Wayland's not running any traps. I really doubt they're going to waste a slot on data mine that really doesn't offer them much anyway. So I mean, it's just an unbelievable setup, and it was just meant to be. I'm really amazed that the deck does so well. Honestly, I'm running a little bit different setup, and from my perspective, I'd be like, I think mine's better, but I could be wrong. Let's see, C-Source. He got C-Source from headquarters. Oh yeah. Oh, I see what was going on earlier. Voltaire was trying to pretend like he didn't even know what C-Source was. I think that's what he was up to. I could be wrong, but that's pretty funny when folks do that. I always enjoy the Netrunner sense of humor. I have quite a many giggles with the players I play against at all times, because it's a very kind of almost just I don't know how to describe it. It's just a very funny sense of humor that's just kind of playful, sarcastic, and it has me cracking up on the regular on my end of the computer. I quite enjoy it, and when somebody's like C-Source and you're like, this guy don't know what C-Source is, and then like, even though you should know better because the guy's playing pretty well, right? So if a guy's playing well and they pretend like, or a gal, and they pretend like they don't know what a card is, right? I mean, you got to watch him, because so many times I've been like, he's not running a C-Source in this deck. He's playing like he don't know what it is, but he's probably not running it, and then come to find out he is running it, and you get got by it because you let your guard down. That just makes me laugh super hard, even though it shouldn't, because I just got wrecked, So let's see here. We're dealing with, again, I just really don't see a way out for Voltaire. I hate it for him. I know how he feels, because that's how I feel so often with Wayland and Core, but I love the chase of the hunt. If you want a deck that is fun, right? If you want a deck that is fun to chase in the Core set, you're going to go with Wayland if you like that kind of thing. If you want, I hope they are able to keep on playing even though I lost connectivity. Okay, we're good. What's in archives here? Bunch of money. They didn't get it. Wasn't enough though. A Scorched Earth, yeah. I mean, ain't much you can do with that. But if you want a deck that's fun to keep chasing that hunt, keep trying to pull off that Sea Scorched or that Posted Bounty Scorched Earth combo, this is the one, and it's going to set you up for success against a lot of players who don't know what they're doing, or players who didn't want to run Criminal. You're in a lot better place against them. or if they don't run a crash space, if they're running Shaper, it's usually a pretty easy day. If they're running a Anarch, but they're probably going to run some crash space and account siphons to mess with you if it's a good deck. Maybe not crash space, but they're going to run, let me see, decoy here is 2 influence, 2. Man, there's just nothing Volaterra can do right now. It is getting more expensive to run these servers. He's doing a great job of building up, but he would have to do some really... he's going to have to make Willie waste a lot of money. We're just basically sitting around talking about Netrunner at this point. And if Volaterra ends up winning, I'm going to have to apologize to him for being an absolute genius. Okay, I'll go ahead and let you know that right now. But if he... but yeah, I'm pretty confident that we're just talking about some Netrunner at this point as we watch this game go by here. So... let's see. Oh, he is building up the ice wall, though. I see that. So that's going to run him still 5 money to get through, right? So you're dealing with 885. And Willie really doesn't care what Volaterra does. Honestly, he doesn't care if he gets his money up to 50 creds, because he's just going to keep his money up to 50 creds. And you're basically... only so much time can go by. Let's see how many agenda points we got. We got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which there's another 10 in there somewhere, and I wouldn't be surprised if a number of them are in his hand. See, this is another thing that takes away from the Crim deck. Whenever you don't have this right here, when you don't have Desperado giving you a memory, you can't go ahead and put down that sneak door, because if you had these 3+ sneak door and you were able to throw that out right now without worrying about picking the wrong icebreaker to lose, man, you could sit there and run on headquarters all day long through archives and just wreck it. But you don't want to take the chance of giving up, say, trashing your code gate only to find out that he had one in hand and was able to install an Enigma to keep you out of that server. So something happened here and I ended up kind of crashing and had to leave and come back, but I'm back. Let's see here. So we got Willie with a tag. He's got 2. He's easily got the clicks to get rid of that tag. I guess what could happen here is, one thing that could be great is a snare. I really like running snares in this deck. It gives you a great chance. I'm not sure if Volaterra's running any. Posted bounty, that's game. Yep. Like I said, it was only a matter of time. That was a tough situation for Volaterra, and it ended up working out. Willie had the lead as number 1 with 15 wins, and and Volaterra had 12. So Willie being able to uphold his championship. Granted, he had the opportunity to choose which side, and choosing runner gives you a great opportunity to hold your advantage, but hey, you get an advantage for being at the top, right? So should have popped that into server 1, but hard to tell. Yeah, I mean, he had everything. He had everything you needed. He also had the Lemuria as well. So yep. But yeah, I mean, a great fight by Volaterra. I got to give him credit, and a film. See, he had the film there to Westeros proportions. Yeah, so he had some snares in deck too. You got to have snares. I like to run a Junebug, but some other people recommended a Ghost Branch. I think I was running a Ghost Branch in my reboot deck. That Ghost Branch is obviously going to add to those tags, which is really what you're trying to get for your Scorch combo. But Junebug can help with crash space, especially if they only got 1 crash space out. You can mess around and pop them with a Junebug or a snare, get them down under 5 creds, under 5 cards, and then 1 crash space isn't going to protect them. yeah, Willie definitely. The way Willie ended up stealing the first posted bounty, he from R&D that turn, he definitely got himself in a position, in a great position. I kind of was like, Voltaire's already in trouble. I mean, after you play core enough times, you realize you can just about tell whenever the game has already been won. But Wayland has a way of surprising until that money got ridiculous, right? Once that money got ridiculous, it wasn't even the money for the C source. It's the money to the fact that there's no way you can put anything in a server without them getting to it. And once that happens and you got infiltrations and add in a Lemuria code cracker here, you're basically in a position where there's not much you can do to stop them. Especially if they're not running a data sucker required suite like a Mimic and a Yogg. If they're not using those, which is a lot more reasonable in the reboot format, which I like, because a data sucker can be a challenge sometimes. If you get locked out of centrals and now you got a Mimic and a Yogg to deal with, and you've got some 4 and 5 cost and even 6 cost with Archer sentries. So yeah. That is really cool. Really good game by Willie. Like I said, I got a lot of respect for what Voltaire did with it to hang in there as long as he did, because I mean, it was just, there really wasn't much he could do. So he kept fighting and kept pushing, and I would have kind of just been going through the motions about 2/3 the way through that game. So well played to both of y'all. Look forward to catching you on the next tournament. Was another line I was looking to drop on the hostile double events and leaving it. The hostile was 5 down. But that would have still just got him 6 points. So, but anyway, well played to both of these opponents and to these individuals. And we're dealing with, coming up real soon, we're getting started with the next tournament, which is adding in the first 3 cycles of the first 3 cycles, but the first 3 data packs of the Genesis cycle, with again the reboot format, modifying some of those cards. Not going to change a whole lot, but definitely gives a few more options and a few more, especially kind of runner style decks. But NBN gets really interested with the addition of Big Brother. You're now dealing with, you're not floating tags, right? You can't float tags anymore with when playing NBN, because that Big Brother, they get 4 more tags, which puts you at 5. So and then they've got the psychographics and various other cards that's going to allow for them to be able to advance agendas as well as kill you with the Scorch combo. So NBN's gets a lot better with that with those first 3 data packs, but they still are lacking in the money compared to ETF and Wayland. So they're probably getting, I would say probably, once you add in the first 3 packs, and I could be wrong about this, I gotta spend a little time, but I would say you're now dealing with HB and NBN being better than Wayland, because now you add in Plascrete Caprice, and there's really no way for Wayland to, as you can see, Wayland really didn't have much for it before, but now you add in Plascrete, and it's even less of a chance, because now you can't tag them and be able to remove those crash spaces anymore, because it's a piece of hardware. So it's definitely, yep, drop a C source for, I don't know how many C sources he's running. If he's running 3, I'd swap it in for a Ghost Branch. But yeah, these first 3 data packs definitely changed the meta a little bit. Not a ton, but enough for where I'm going to be running NBN, and I'm a Wayland guy. I'm not an NBN guy, but I'm going to be running NBN probably in this next tournament here, and I'm looking forward to that. So yep, I'm telling you, if you thought Core, I think Core is better in Reboot than in Original, and I've probably played 75 games in each of them at this point of Core over the past few months, And don't get me wrong, it took me a long time. It took me probably 125, 150 games of original core to start to even get tired of it, because I never put that much time into it, and I'm really still could play it over and over again. But I'm about ready to move on. But after 100-ish games of core, I can tell you, I really find what they've done to adjust Ninja, what they did to adjust Account Siphon and Desperado to make them a little bit weaker, but to fix Ninja to where it's a little bit more of a reasonable icebreaker, lets you kind of have a little bit different build here. Cyber Feeder only costs 1 instead of 2 now. Crash Base costs 1 instead of 2. There's a lot of good stuff going on here that renders a little bit of a change and allows for a smoother runner experience that makes you feel like you have more options but isn't quite as strong. And on the Corp side, it ends up equaling out Account Siphon just a hint, and some of the stuff they've done on the Corp side to bumping Hunter up to 5 is really good for giving tags, right? What else? Oh yeah, your let's see, the Wall of Thorns in Jinteki now costs 6. The Hadrian's Wall only costs 7 instead of 10, which makes Hadrian's Wall much more playable, especially in core. So I really enjoy those changes to where the core feels like they've kind of got a little bit going on as well. So a little bit more going on as well. So overall, it's nothing to say. I mean, it's easy to go back right in 2020 and readjust the card pool by some small numbers, right, and get a better experience for original core. That's not taken away from original core. I absolutely love it. I think it's fun. It's offered me, like I said, I think probably somewhere between 100 and 150 plays of original core I've put down in the past few months getting ready for these core tournaments. So I'm definitely not taking away anything from the core experience, but I'm telling you, this is a nice refresh to it, and I highly recommend if you're interested in experiencing the core because you want to experience what it was originally, then play on Jinteki. If you want to go back and kind of have a fresh core experience that'll give you another probably 50 plays out of it that you can enjoy, check out the Riteki.